Om Shri Sai Ram, Upanishad Vahini by Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba. Mundaka Upanishad. This Upanishad starts with an invocation praying that may we listen to auspicious sounds with the ear, may we witness auspicious sights with the eye, and may we spend our lifetime in the constant contemplation of the glory of God. The discipline that is expounded in it is called Brahma Vidya, since it was first delivered but by Karya Brahma, or the creator four-headed Brahma, that is Hiranya Garbha, and also because it deals with Brahman or absolute reality. It came to be called Mundaka, to shave, meaning shave or liberate one from their errors and ignorance, for it is addressed only to the ascetics with tonsured heads who are under a vow called Shirovrata, a ritual of carrying a pot of sacred fire on head, etc. Moreover, due to the richness of the content that it expounds, this Upanishad is like a crest jewel for all Upanishads, and hence it came to be known as Mundaka. It belongs to the Atharvana Veda. This Brahma Vidya has been handed down from Guru to Shishya for generation, and it consists of two parts. One teaches about Nirguna Brahman, or the attributeless Godhead, and is known as Paravidya, or learning related to the self or the ultimate truth. The other, Aparavidya, or learning related to the non-self, teaches about the Saguna Brahman, or the Godhead with attributes, which helps in transcending the results of both good and bad actions, and that is by surrendering the results of all the actions to the Saguna Brahman with an aspect of non-doership. Both of these were taught by Angirasa to the Saunakya. The discipline and the doctrine of the Vedas and the Vedangas are called Aparavidya. The Upanishads and such all other Sabdarsrasi, collection of sounds, words or verbal teachings, are categorized as Aparavidya. Though all these are Aparavidya, their teachings naturally lead to the Paravidya, for the Vijnana or higher wisdom gained from them guides the aspirant to Brahman. Just as the spider is the Upadana or Karanam, or material cause for the web that comes from it, the Jagat or universe, which manifest and unmanifest continuously, cyclically, is an emanation from Brahman. The samsara, or the cycle of birth and death of the Apara Vidya, is the medium for Kriya Karta, or deed doer relationship. The samsara persists until jnana, or spiritual wisdom, dawns. Those who engage themselves in karma, or action or deeds, which are termed as Apara Vidya, attain Swarga, or heaven. Others, aware of the evanescence of Swarga, renounce all such karma and seek teachers who are Brahmanishtas, those absorbed in the contemplation of Brahman, to learn Brahma Vidya that leads to mukti, or liberation. All beings are not distinct from Brahman. All emanate from Brahman. Sparks that emanate from a raging fire, or hair that come from the skin of the body, appear nevertheless as different from the objects of origin. So too, emanating from Brahman, the jivis, or the individual beings, appear as if they are distinct, though they are not different from Brahman at all. It is in obedience to the directives of the Para-Brahman, the Supreme Godhead, that the sun and the moon, the five elements, all behave as ordained. Brahman is Sarva Karma Phala Pradata, the one who grants the consequence of all actions. The Jiva, or the individual being, and Ishvara, the Supreme Being, are like two birds sitting on the same tree called the human body. The Jiva consumes the fruits of action. That is, Jiva acts and experiences the consequences of those acts. Ishvara watches from a distance and is just a witness. The Jiva identifies himself with the body and experiences grief as a reward. The moment he realizes that he is Ishvara, he becomes free from grief. One whose mind is completely submitted to the noble desire or goal of realizing God is able to destroy the craving for sensory joy and steadily moves closer to the unveiling of his divine glory. The Mundaka Upanishad in its last mantra declares that its purpose is to initiate seekers in the pure knowledge of realizing Brahman, that is Brahma Vidya. It is the crest jewel of all Upanishads on account of this. Munda means head. It also refers to adhering to a vow called Shirovrata, carrying a pot of fire on head as part of the sadhana to become successful in Brahma Vidya. In the Brahma Sutras, 2 Adhikaranas or the sections are devoted to the discussions of the mantras of this Upanishad. There are 2 sections and 3 chapters in it. In the first section, the subject is Para and the Apara Vidyas, and in the second section, the subjects are Karma, which leads to the Brahma Sakshatkaram or the realization of the immanent Brahman, and the Shabda, which marks out the karma or mantras. These are the ones that are found in Karma Kanda or the portions of Vedas dealing with rituals. All the Upanishad mantras lead towards the Brahma Vidya or self-knowledge and therefore are auspicious. The spider, as discussed earlier, produces the web from out of itself without any assistance from extraneous substance and is traditionally skilled in reabsorbing the web unto itself. The raw material that is involved in causing the effect is called as Upadana Karanam, material cause. So too, the universe is created from Parabrahman without help from any extraneous agent or substance. Yarn and cloth, gold and jewelry, mud and pot, all are but transmutations and changed names and forms. Jewels, pots and clothes are caused actions with gold, mud and yarn being the prime causes respectively. So too, Prakriti or cosmic nature is created from the material called Brahman. So Brahman is the prime cause of Prakriti. The creator of this immeasurable creation or universe has to be the one who is omniscient, and that omniscience is not possible for anyone other than the Lord. Brahmagyanam is the main characteristic of Paravidya. For those who aspire for Swarga, engaging in karmas or rites prescribed by the Vedas is the primary path. Of all rituals, Agnihotra or sacrifice offered to Agni Deva or god of fire is the most basic rite. Engaging in such rituals leads to Chitta Shuddhi or purification of Chitta. It is an essential prelude to Paravidya. The leaping flames of the sacrificial fire is an invitation to the aspirant to march onto the absolute source and sustenance of all energy. The offerings made in the sacrificial fire with the realization of the meaning and significance of the ritual grasp the rays of the sun and thereby become more potent. They lead one onto the abode of Indra, the king of celestials himself. Agnihotra, Vedic ritual with oblations and mantras offered to the god of fire. Satya, adherence to truth. Tapas, austerity. Veda Dhyana, or the study of the Vedas. Atithi Pujana, or the worship of the guest. Such acts dictated by the Shrutis are named Ishtam, Ishta karmas, prayer, worship, or religious ritual, all of which purifies the mind. The construction of temples, rest houses, tanks, wells, and avenue tree plantation, such acts laid down in the Smritis are named Puritam, Purita karmas, or the charitable activities. These karmas result in beneficial consequences. Since karma causes bondage to samsara, it is kritikam or false and not sahajam, real. As the fruits of karma also cause karma, they are also kritikam and anityam, temporary or transitory. Therefore, the entire creation with its manifold names and forms is kritikam or false. It is described as that which undergoes constant change. Parama Purusha, or the Supreme Lord, is the causator of this entire creation. He alone is eternal, unchanging, unaffected, and all-pervading. Every act is motivated by Him. Every effect is shaped by His will. He is non-objectifiable and unperceivable. The Shruti says, I is nothing but Brahman. The entire creation is bound to Brahman just as spokes to the hub. There is no separate existence other than Brahman. It also says that Manas or mind is the main instrument to achieve that Brahman. The target Brahman has to be hit by the arrow called Manas. With the aim made true and straight by single-pointed attention, got by upasana or contemplation or worship of chosen deity. Let the arrow of your antakarana, that is the mind or the inner instrument, fly from Upanishadic bow and reach the target of Akshara, indestructible form of Parabrahman or Supreme Godhead. In other words, Omkara is the bow, Jiva is the arrow, Brahman is the target. Then Brahman is reflected in Antakarana or the inner consciousness and illumines it. The illumined Antakarana has to be withdrawn from the objective world, and by Vairagya or detachment, one has to get rid of the impurities that tarnish the chitta or mind. Now, with this pure chitta, engage in Omkara Upasana, that is meditation on Omkara, and attain one-pointedness. Like the spokes emanating from the hub, great numbers of nadis or subtle energy channels within the human body which cannot be seen via dissection emanate from the heart and spread throughout the body. The Jivi residing in the core of the heart appears as if he is caught up in the whirlpool of change. But the Jivi, who is none other than the Atma itself, can know its nature by resorting to Omkara Upasana and takes one away from Ajnana or ignorance. The whole universe signifies the glory of the Lord. Hridayaka Akasha, or the space within the heart, is the place where Parameshwara, Supreme Being Almighty, is installed. He is the very breath of your breath. Since Paramatma, or Supreme Self, is formless, he is incapable of being seen. Since he is nameless, he is incapable of being described in words. He cannot be grasped by other senses too. He cannot also be acquired by tapas or penance or by any Vedic ritual such as Agnihotra. Brahmagyanam or self-knowledge is possible only through the cleansed and tranquil buddhi, intellect. Free from attachment, hatred and such contaminations, and only through Brahmagyanam, Sakshatkaram or the realization is attained. Through dhyana or meditation, one gets Chitta Ekagrata or one-pointedness of the Chitta. Chitta Ekagrata takes one to Brahma Jnanam. When the Chitta is pure, it is possible to realize Atma in this very body. In the very body into which the Pancha Pranas or the five vital forces have moved in the subtlest of the subtle Atma, can be known only by the jnana or spiritual wisdom gained through the pure chitta. The Atma is latent in Indriyas or senses, just as butter is latent in milk and fire in wood. At present, Chitta is impure, which causes distress. When it is cleansed and becomes pure, Paramatma latent in the heart will shine forth as Pratyaga Atma, Pratyaga Atma, the innermost self. Surely those who grasp this Atma Jnanam are worthy of homage. He who knows Brahman, that is Brahmagyani, is Brahman itself, and the removal of ignorance is moksha or liberation. Jai Sai Ram.
साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ